Welcome to a world filled with magic and adventure. In these stories, you'll dive into realms full of mystery and suspense. The Silver Phoenix legend. Is it eternal life, or just an illusion? The Whispering Winds. In the quiet village of Evergreen, nestled deep in the mountains, lived a young girl named Alara. Her world was simple, filled with the beauty of nature and the love of her family. But there was always a longing in her heart, a desire for adventure, for something more than the everyday life she had come to know. One evening, as Alara sat by the window of her cottage, she noticed a strange breeze flowing through the trees. It wasn't like the usual mountain winds. This breeze carried with it a melody, a haunting, beautiful song that seemed to call her name. Intrigued, Alara followed the wind into the forest. The trees whispered as if they were speaking to her. She walked deeper, drawn by an unseen force, until she reached a clearing. There, in the center, stood a majestic tree, its bark shining with silver streaks. At the base of the tree was a small, glowing stone, pulsating with an otherworldly light. As Alara approached, the wind whispered again, "The phoenix awaits. You are chosen." The phoenix's cry. Alara's heart raced as the words echoed in her mind. She bent down and touched the stone. In that instant, a blinding light engulfed her, and she heard a cry, a magnificent, sorrowful cry that shook the very earth beneath her. Before her materialized a creature unlike any she had ever seen, a massive, silver phoenix with wings that shimmered like the stars. Its eyes glowed with ancient wisdom and deep sadness. "The time has come," the phoenix spoke in a voice that resonated like thunder. "I have waited for you, Alara. You are the one who can save this land." Alara stepped back in awe. "What do you mean? How can I save anything?" The phoenix spread its wings and soared into the sky, circling above her. "I am the last of my kind," it explained. "For centuries, my people have protected this land. But a great darkness is coming. The Shadow King has awakened, and only the Silver Phoenix can stop him. But to defeat him, the Phoenix needs the heart of the mountain, and you must retrieve it. The quest begins." Alara's mind swirled with questions. The heart of the mountain? What was it? Where was it? And why had the Phoenix chosen her? The Phoenix landed beside her, its wings creating a gust of wind that pushed the trees aside. "You are the chosen one because you carry the spirit of the mountains within you," it said. "Only someone with a pure heart, a heart connected to nature, can retrieve the heart of the mountain. It is hidden deep within the dark caverns, guarded by the ancient beasts of the earth." Alara nodded, a sense of resolve settling over her. This was her chance to do something extraordinary, something that could change everything. She couldn't turn back now. The phoenix gave her a single, glowing feather. "This will guide you. Follow its light, and it will lead you to the heart." The dark caverns. The journey was long and perilous. Alara crossed vast forests, scaled treacherous cliffs, and navigated through deep ravines. Along the way, she encountered creatures of legend, gigantic wolves with silver fur, talking birds with the wisdom of the ancients, and even spirits of the forest that guided her when the path seemed lost. But when she finally reached the entrance to the dark caverns, the air turned cold, and the atmosphere was thick with malevolence. The caverns were said to be cursed, and those who entered rarely returned. As Alara ventured deeper into the caverns, the light from the phoenix's feather grew dim. Strange sounds echoed through the tunnel's growls, whispers, and the clattering of distant chains. The deeper she went, the darker it became. In the heart of the caverns, Alara found a great chasm. Across it was a stone pedestal, upon which rested the heart of the mountain, a radiant crystal pulsating with an intense light. But guarding the pedestal was a massive stone golem, its eyes glowing with fiery malice. Alara took a deep breath, steadying herself. She had come this far. There was no turning back. The trial of courage. The stone golem turned to face her, its massive form looming over her like a mountain. It raised its heavy arms, and with a voice that shook the walls, it spoke. "Only the worthy may take the heart of the mountain. Prove your courage or perish." With that, the golem charged at Elara. She dodged narrowly, using her agility to avoid its strikes. The ground trembled with each movement of the creature, and Elara knew that if she failed, the consequences would be dire. She couldn't fight brute strength with brute strength. Instead, Elara remembered the stories her grandmother had told her about the ancient warriors of the mountain. They fought with their minds, using their surroundings to their advantage. With a swift movement, she used a large boulder to her advantage, distracting the golem momentarily. As it swung at her, Elara dashed past, leaping onto the pedestal and grabbing the heart of the mountain. The moment her fingers touched the crystal, the golem froze and crumbled into dust. Elara held the heart tightly. It was warm, and as she touched it, she felt its power surge through her. She had passed the trial. The Shadow King. With the heart of the mountain in hand, Elara returned to the clearing where the phoenix awaited. The creature's wings fluttered in anticipation. "You have done it," the phoenix said, its voice filled with pride. "Now, we must face the Shadow King." The journey back to the village was swift, and as they approached the mountains, the skies grew darker. The wind howled with rage as a storm of black clouds formed overhead. The Shadow King had arrived. The Shadow King, a towering figure cloaked in darkness, stood at the edge of the village. His eyes burned with hatred, and his presence filled the air with dread. With a wave of his hand, he sent waves of shadow creatures toward the villagers. "Elara, now is the time," the phoenix said. "Use the heart, channel its power and protect your people." Elara held the heart high, and its light exploded outward, cutting through the shadows like a sword of light. The final sacrifice. As the dust settled and the villagers rejoiced, Elara felt a deep sadness within her. The power of the heart was immense, but it came with a price. The phoenix had been weakened by the battle, and its light flickered. "You've done it, Elara," the phoenix said softly, its wings trembling. "You've saved this land, but the heart of the mountain was never meant to remain in the world for long. It must return to where it came from." Elara nodded, understanding the sacrifice. The heart's power had restored peace, but the phoenix's time had come to an end. She walked to the edge of the mountain and placed the heart back into the earth, where it began to glow once more, its power returning to the land. The phoenix's wings fluttered gently as it gave one last glance at Elara. "You are a true hero," it said, its voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for everything." With that, the phoenix ascended into the sky, its silver feathers glimmering like the stars. Elara watched it disappear into the heavens, knowing that her world had forever changed. And so our journey ends today. But the story doesn't stop here. Are you ready for more adventures? Stay tuned for more exciting stories that will take you to new worlds.